Hey, I'm David Christopher from the group Rabbit in the Moon, and I'm here today to talk to you about T-Rex 3 and the ARC system.
What is your studio setup and where are you located?
I basically work in Los Angeles, California. We have two different studios, but mine is in Silver Lake in my house.
So how long have you been producing music and touring?
We've been together almost 15 years, touring and producing music and doing remixes for lots of people.
What are some of the most notable tracks you've worked on and some of the nicest places you've toured?
Probably some of the cool remixes we got to do was working with people like Sarah McLachlan and Garbage, Smashing Pumpkins, the Stone Roses, Goldie, Paul Oakenfold, BT, lots of people.
Very cool, excellent. So what IK Multimedia products do you currently have, and name some of the things that you use them on?
I've been using the Philharmonic a lot. I do a lot of like string orchestrations with that, and I use T-Rex 3 for doing mastering and just overall mixing like compressions and EQs. And I also let's see what else I use. I use Sonik Synth and what's the other one? Sample Tank I use a lot.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So on the Possession remix that you did with Sarah McLachlan, you said you redid the track using IK's T-Rex mastering software. Explain what you thought about the sound before you used T-Rex and how the track was received by your fans after you finished.
Well, Possession was, one of those first mixes that got really popular that I did. And when I reset up my studio and went all digital, I decided just to mess around with the remix for our live shows. And that's how the whole idea of doing a newer version came about. And so after doing the mix, I always do some kind of mastering just to try to get the sonicness of the track to be as loud and clear as possible. So, weirdly enough, I did the track before I had T-Rex 3, and I just used kind of some conventional mastering stuff that I've done on other tracks, very simple stuff. But, when I got T-Rex 3, I just decided to revisit it and use it as well and see what would happen. And yeah, I was blown away. A lot of times, you put a preset on and it doesn't work at all for what you're trying to do. But, I put on one of the mastering presets and it instantly made the track almost perfect. Very slight adjustments, and that's all I needed to do.
Beautiful. Do you want to take a look on screen? I think we have an example that we can show you the difference.
Well, if you can hear it, here's the original Possession track with my mastering on it. This is before T-Rex. This is after So there you have it.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave. Now, can people check out this song online anywhere?
Yes, actually on our MySpace page, myspace.com/rabbitthemoon. We will have it posted on there.
Excellent. When mixing down in your new studio, you told IK Artist Relations that you were listening to Sasha's new mixes and trying to achieve a certain sound that he was able to. Can you explain that a little bit?
Oh no, so yeah, interesting enough, I wanted to have my system, my studio tuned, and, I just happened to look on the IK Multimedia website and saw the ARC system, and, pleasantly surprised to see that it was something in the digital domain that was hopefully going to be the new savior of mixing, because there are a lot of changes from using conventional mixing boards and everything else. So I was talking to one of your employees named Star, and I told her that I really enjoyed this new record by Sasha. It's an electronic record, but it has vocals. I mean, it's very well put together electronic music, which is what I created as well. And so, I told her about the ARC system and how I was impressed with his record. And so the irony of the whole conversation was that she had actually sent one of, your reps to go out and arc his studio. So the Sasha studio was arced before he finished that record, which, made all the sense in the world, because, we're always trying to make our stuff sound good, not only in the studio, but in the car and your iPod and every other place we play it. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you could give any advice to other musicians, what would you tell them about making music with your studio and the importance of having a proper listening environment?
Well, your ears never lie, but your speakers do, and and your room can. So it's a good idea to try to use, the best plugins to correct or mix with. And I use Mackie monitors, which are pretty standard, but I'm mixing in a small room. But using I've been working on these speakers for a few months now, and they're great, but we just arced the studio, and to listen to the speakers after they've been arced is just a whole other world, because it actually corrected all of the low-end problems I was having in this room, where I would take and do a mix, and then I'd go to my car and play it, and it wasn't right. Something was wrong, and the vibe wasn't there, and so at the end of the day, is it power? Oh. The ghost in the machine. So I mean, you have to look for the products that actually correct stuff and help you mix better. And T-Rex was one of those things that I love to use. The ARC system I'm so far blown away by. I'll let you know in another month after I do some more mixing on it. But
so if you could give advice to other musicians about the importance of mastering, what would you say?
Well, I mean, mastering is definitely can make or break your mix. If you can't do it on your own, get somebody else to do it. But nowadays, since we're all doing stuff on our own mostly, use a good plugin. I've used all the different plugins, and the thing that I like about something like T-Rex 3 is it's not like you're bringing an EQ from this company and a limiter from that company and trying to combine all this stuff. They're kind of taking that whole guesswork out and saying, here's your limiter, here's your EQ, here's your your brick wall limiter to make sure that you don't go over, and they're also setting up these presets to where you can experiment using different ones and hear what the differences are and train yourself to be able to master your own mixes, which in the end of the day is going to, save you money. It's going to also just give you the ability to be more of a do-it-yourself type of producer, which is, ultimately what we all want to be.
Excellent. So what's the new album that you guys have out now, and where can people check it out?
We released a record about a year ago called Decade, and it was a representation of the last 10 years or so of producing music. So it has some older music, some brand new music, and it also has a DVD that each song has a video, whether it's in the studio type of video or a live video. So it's kind of like this seamless little mini movie adventure. I actually say that the CD is the soundtrack to the DVD because the DVD was conceptualized first.
Excellent.
But go check it out. You can get it on Amazon.com, Best Buy, or at our shows.
Excellent. That was my next question. Thank you very much, David.
Right.
David Christopher with Rabbit in the Moon.
See you later.